Narcissist parents versus autistic parents. Let's talk about it. Autism does resemble narcissism, but it's the underlying intention that's very different. So here are the 5 foundational differences. Autistic parents can be very self-centered and self-focused, which appears selfish. They can be blunt and they can be very emotionally detached, but that's because they process emotions and social cues very differently. Narcissistic parents, on the other hand, will invalidate their kids' feelings to maintain control and to keep a certain self-image. They struggle to mirror others' emotions, so their comforting tone may not sound as natural because they're trying to read those emotional cues. The narcissist will neglect their kids out of self-preservation and to protect themselves and to keep and maintain that control. Their detachment from their kids is manipulative. It's not neurological. Now, when it comes to empathy, autistic parents is coming from cognitive rather than expressive. So they understand when their kids are feeling some type of way, but they're kind of like a deer in the headlights and they don't know how to react. So it may seem more detached. And many autistic parents will have hyper empathy. So they feel people's emotions so much that they don't know how to react and they completely shut down and kind of go blank. So it will seem like they have no empathy, but neurologically they do. Now, narcissistic empathy is performative and selective. They're lacking that empathy in the brain, that compassion towards others. So they're going to be very performative. It's going to be in front of people and they're going to show like, oh, I care so much and I'm doing this on purpose to maintain my self-image. Behind closed doors, there will be little to no empathy if their kids are feeling some type of way. They may even punish their kids when their kids need something, like how dare you need something. Now let's talk about the intent and the awareness. Autistic parents will talk a lot about themselves. They will make it a lot about them, but it's because they're talking about their interests. And when they need alone time, it's not to punish, it's really to regenerate and like get back to themselves. Their brain neurologically needs to detach in order to self-regulate. The intent of the narcissistic parents is to punish when they detach. They will recenter the conversation to themselves, so dominate the conversation, and they'll completely invalidate and dismiss their kids' needs. And that comes from protection, not neurological. They're protecting their ego, they're protecting their self-esteem. So one may seem detached and withdraw to self-regulate, the other one detaches and withdraws to punish, to dominate and control. Now let's talk about how each of them respond. Autistic parents will get very confused when feedback is brought up to them. They almost won't know the difference between criticism and feedback. If it's vague, if there's a lot of words or emotionally charged, they won't know how to process that. Again, because they don't know the difference between mean criticism and important constructive feedback, they will take all of it the same. And they will need to detach. They will need to kind of like freeze, step away, process, emotionally regulate, and they will come back with maybe an apology or they'll try to understand their kid's perspective, but they may still have a hard time processing it. An autistic parent will try to adapt to their kids' needs in their own way. Narcissistic parents, on the other hand, won't react the same. They will use DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. In short, from beginning to end, they will avoid any accountability. They will deny what they're feeling. They're not only going to detach completely, reverse it back and blame you, but they're going to make completely you to be the problem. How dare you even bring this up? I did not hurt you. You bringing this up is hurting me. So I'm the victim now. Now let's talk about the motivation. Autistic parents deeply crave connection. They struggle with how to express that affection that they have towards their kids and express that empathy because they have so many sensory overloads that when their kids are feeling some type of way, they don't know how to process it. An autistic parent will really try to understand because they don't know how to read emotional cues. If their kids are saying, well, we don't want any contact, the parent's going to respect that. They're going to respect their kids' boundaries, not really realizing that their kids actually do want more connection, but because they're not getting it, they're detaching. But the autistic parent just sees what the kid wants and will respect boundaries. Now, the narcissistic parent does not respect boundaries. They want validation. They want control. They will manipulate in ways to get that. And they see their kids as extensions of themselves. So they want their kids to praise them and to do all that. And if their kids feel any type of way and say, well, I need distance from you, they're going to make themselves be the martyr. Like, oh my gosh, poor me. Because the narcissistic parent is about ego and protection, they're going to see themselves as the victim, and they will not respect any boundaries. Even if the kid goes no contact, the parent will find a way to try to contact or trigger the kid, because again, they have to protect themselves and protect their self-esteem. So while autistic parents and narcissistic parents can be very similar, the roots of it are very different. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of research for children with autistic parents. So whether you have a parent that could be on the spectrum of autism or could be narcissistic, you may still feel a lot of pain inside of you of being either neglected or feeling like you didn't get emotional validation or enough hugging and holding when you were a kid. If a kid has a certain need and a parent retracts, whether to control and manipulate them or they retract because they don't know how to process it, it is going to affect the child. As the child grows up, they're going to be hyper independent and have to rely on themselves and start protecting themselves. They're not going to see their parent as an emotionally safe place. When an autistic parent is uncomfortable with a kid's feelings and they'll be like, that's too much for me, the kid may feel like they're just too much. Now, the same thing applies to a narcissistic parent. If the narcissistic parent is like, this is too much, but they add shame of like, you're not good enough, you're this, that kid will still feel that internal shame. So whether you're struggling to connect with your parent because of autism or because of emotional immaturity and narcissism, your pain is valid. The confusion you carry, the pain of never feeling understood, maybe even being too much, the grief you carry, not just of the way you were parented, but the healing that you have to do now, all of that, all of it matters. The need for safety and compassion and validation was never too much. It's what you deserved. The anger you feel right now, the sadness may make you want to blame your parents, but healing isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming and empowering yourself. You're not broken or too much for needing love. This is the time right now that you can give it to yourself. All the love and validation, because you matter. Your feelings matter. Your voice matters. You may not have felt chosen, not have felt enough, but every day you get to make yourself feel enough. You get to choose you and pay attention to you. Listen to you. Everything that you wish they gave you every day, you get to give it to yourself because you have you. Love you.